In very much Chicago Bulls fashion and how this season has gone, the Chicago Bulls lose the game against the Atlanta Hawks, but still clinch a playing berth. We're going to talk about that, what it means. We're also going to ask the question of, is any type of postseason play from the Chicago Bulls just fool's gold? And we shouldn't really be looking at it as positively as what we are. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
All right, Bulls fans. So the Chicago Bulls lost last night against the Atlanta Hawks, and they just lost to a game that they just did not match the effort of the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks came in that game with a game plan and a level of confidence that the Bulls just did not match throughout that game. We look at Bojan Bogdanovic and how he was able to play for this team. 26 points he scored, of 9 of 15 shooting, 5 of 10 from three-point range. But it wasn't just him. Sadiq Bey also chipping in 18 points, him starting. DeJounte Murray, 17 points. Clint Capella with another 13 points and 14 rebounds. The Bulls were also killed on the boards in this game, being out-rebounded by 16 rebounds. Now, when you look at the stats on the other side for the Chicago Bulls, we did shoot the ball 46% overall from the field. We had 16 assists on 41 made baskets. That's never going to cut it. We only had 8 turnovers. But again, this game was never a game that felt like the Bulls were ever in, right? Almost since the opening tip, it felt like the Bulls were out of this game, that they were just going to be completely outclassed and outmatched. And it's unfortunate that we're still talking about that, and a team that should be gearing in and getting ready for a play-in tournament. It sucks. All that sucks, right? But it just is what it is with this team, man. And unfortunately, we're at the point now where, yes, we're going to get a play-in berth. Shout out to that. But we still don't have very much more confidence in this team's ability to kick into the necessary second gear. Yeah, we see it against teams like Memphis, but the Atlanta Hawks came in this game missing 2 starters and completely and utterly just outclassed you and looked like the better team. It's really unfortunate. The Bulls allowing 70 points in the paint in this game. 70 points in the paint, right? And the Atlanta Hawks, even though they initially were hot from 3, they didn't eventually end up shooting a good percentage from the field. I mean, from the free three-pointer, they end up going 10 of 28 for only 35%. But they just outworked the Bulls. This was just a game that was just outworked. They were outworked badly, right? Badly. And so, when I came into the keys of the game in this game, one of the things that I did point out and say, do not let Bogdanovic go off on you. When he sees the Bulls, he becomes a different player. And it sucks, man. It really does suck that the Bulls lost this game. And even after the game, Zach LaVine saying this, they wanted it more than us. You don't want to come out flat like this on the most important game of the year. It's frustrating. I just think they wanted more than us. That's all I think. That's not a quote that leaves much confidence from you heading into a play-in situation. It's not a quote that leaves much confidence from a team that, yeah, has been playing better overall, right, since the All-Star break. But it's losses like this that just remind us that no matter how good the Bulls play after this All-Star break, no matter how good they look at times, it has not changed what needs to happen in the offseason with this team. And that is, we need wholesale changes with this team, period. That's just it. That is where we sit right now with this team. DeMar DeRozan going 7 of 17 from the field in this game, 21 points. Nikola Vucevic has 19 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. And then Zach LaVine chips in 26 points, going 11 of 21 from the field, 1 of 7 from three-point range. He also has 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, but it just was not enough. And shout out to Patrick Williams, who played a pretty darn good game coming off the bench as well. Patrick Williams going 6 of 9 from the field in this game. But if you watch this game, you knew it, right? Every time the Chicago Bulls had a chance or opportunity to change the momentum, right, to go on a run, they would either miss the shots, they would have the weird turnovers, right? They would get to the lane, and the Atlanta Hawks would meet them there, give some effort, and the Bulls would not get it. Every time it seemed like the Bulls, hey, they may start going on one of those runs like they did against the Memphis Grizzlies. It was immediately snatched back, not always just by the Atlanta Hawks, but mistakes by the team overall. And, that's one thing that you want to see this team tighten up. But with that being said, the Bulls do lock in a play-in berth last night because the Dallas Mavericks, the Orlando Magic, lost their game. And so, listen, yeah, we lost the game, but I guess we end up winning. We're going to get some postseason play. But the question that I want to ask to this is any postseason berth, even if Bulls do make it out the play-in tournament, are we getting excited over fool's gold? Yeah, this season has been a struggle. This season has been tough, and it feels, I guess, good in a way to make it into a play-in tournament. It feels good to be one of the, I guess, top tens in the Eastern Conference and still have a chance. It gives us a little bit of excitement to just have a chance to make that play-in tournament. It gives us excitement. The playoffs, right, to come out of that play-in tournament. We still now are looking at the last 3 games of the season and saying, hey, if the Bulls can win all 3 of these games, they finish at 500. Could they still get into that 8th, that 7th spot? Could they host a playing game at home? Could they only need 1 win if they can make it up to that 8th spot? All types of questions surrounding the Bulls when it comes to that. But the biggest thing that I look at this is that I do think that this is just fool's gold. This is something that we're given, right? There's something that I don't make it seem like the team's earned it with their play since the All-Star break, but it's something that we're looking at and saying, hey, yeah, cool. We get a little token, right? The token is the play-in tournament. The token is maybe we win that play-in tournament, we make it out the play-in tournament, and we go into the actual playoffs to then get eliminated in the first round. But it's all fool's gold. It does not change how disappointing this season is. It does not change how much this roster needs to change in the offseason. It doesn't change any of that. And so we're looking at this now play-in scenario, postseason berth, whatever you want to call it. And I really do just think it's fool's gold. It's nothing tangible here. It's nothing meaningful. It's nothing to uncover. It's nothing to add value. It is nothing but end up going to be a paperweight on the end of the season that we can say, hey, we got that playing game. Did you see how we looked in that playing game? Yeah, Kobe White looked pretty damn good in that playing game. Hopefully he can build off that next season. We already know this based off how he's played during the season. This postseason play really means nothing. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't make me more proud of this team. It doesn't do any of that. Yeah, it's cool to make it. And I would rather make the play-in and have a chance to get into the playoffs and have a chance for this team to maybe learn something, get some more playoff experience. But when it's all said and done, it really means nothing, right? It means nothing unless the Bulls go on to shock the world and make it out and have a first round upset and make it into the second round. All right, then I'll say there's a little bit something more tangible and meaningful there. But overall, man, it's tough, man. It's really tough to see the way that this season's gone. It's tough to see just how up and down and inconsistent this team has been. And I know, yeah, we miss Alonzo Ball and what he meant to this team, and we look better since we had a point guard. All those things are true. But just when you look at the fact that the front office came into this selling us on continuity, and this is what it got us, right? This is what it got us. We need to do better. We need a better team. We need better support. And much like a comment from Edward Herring, I'll be seeing you in the comments, this season means nothing. It means nothing. And so, hopefully this team learns how they need to come out. And if they don't learn anything else from the season, it's that they need to find a way to uncover that dog. They need to find a way to uncover that second gear that these teams go into against us that leave us out, right? We need to uncover that. And we also, AK, Eversley, we need a better team. We need a better bench. We need some better talent. We need some shooting and some size. Billy Donovan, stop popping that damn gum and learn to coach, Billy. Make a goddamn adjustment, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. These are the things that we need to be walking away from this season, knowing that we need to address in the offseason. But with that being said, we've clinched the play-in berth. And who are the players that I want to see have a great game, multiple games, if we make it into a playoff series? Who do I want to see play the best in the play-in and I think have the most to tell? Number one is Zach LaVine. The one thing that separates Zach LaVine from being in the conversation of being one of the better players in the NBA is just simply put, he ain't won nothing. He hasn't had any type of playoff success. He's never won a playoff series. And, I know some people are going to say, well, it's the defense, it's this. And those things definitely play a part. But there are players that are a lot worse than Zach LaVine defensively that are more known and respected around the league. I really look at the fact that Zach LaVine, and last season I'm not going to say it was his fault. He was injured. He didn't go into that postseason 100% healthy. Zach LaVine really does need to have that play-in performance, right? That playoff performance. That, I would say this. If the Bulls do, let's say they win one game in the play-in, they lose their second game, they don't make it out the tournament, but Zach LaVine has 2 amazing games in that play-in tournament, it's going to bring a new level of eyes to Zach LaVine. And I think it's going to help us maybe think that, and don't get me wrong, Zach LaVine is not the player that he can be your number one and you can win the title with. He's just not that. But I do think that an improved play and a great showing from Zach LaVine in postseason play can definitely help push that in the right direction as far as just people recognizing how good Zach LaVine actually is and can be. He needs to be consistently, which he has been since the All-Star break for the most part, but we need to see that a little bit more from Zach LaVine. Next one up is Kobe White. I want to see Kobe White take all this improvement that he's made this offseason, or in the offseason and over the course of this season, and I want to see that man ball out. Will it possibly get expensive for the Chicago Bulls if Kobe White has a nuclear play-in series or playoff series where he's just dominating off the bench and scoring and playing defense and making the energy plays and all that? Yeah, it could get expensive for the Bulls, but I don't care about that. It's not coming out of my pocket. I want to see Kobe White just really put the garnish on top of the season that it's been for him and the improvement that he's made and just have a great rush of playing success, right? Or postseason success. I want to see that from Kobe White. I would love for him to do that. I would love for him to finish this season just with a strong postseason performance and people just realizing Kobe White needs to stay. And I know a lot of people already do realize that, and a lot of people do give him that credit, but I would just love to see that from Kobe White. And then next up, Nikola Vucevic. I would love to see Nikola Vucevic with all the doubt, all the hate from Bulls fans, all the people who box score watch and don't really understand the impact that Nikola Vucevic makes positively on the game, albeit with, yes, his struggles defensively. I would love to see Nikola Vucevic going into free agency. And yeah, would it get costly again for the Bulls? Possibly. I don't care anymore, right? I don't care. I'm not the one paying that bill. But I would love to see Nikola Vucevic have that. And as well, I'm going to throw Patrick Williams on that list as well. Just, if Patrick Williams can have that aggressiveness and to show what he's shown flashes of from the season and be consistent with that in some type of postseason play, I think maybe that can go a long way in helping his confidence a little bit more as well. So I'd love to see that from him also. But yeah, those are the players that I kind of most want to see. Now, players that I'm concerned are going to have a struggle of a postseason play. Patrick Williams is also on that list. I'm absolutely concerned that Patrick Williams is going to have one of those playoff, play-in, whatever, postseason games where he maybe disappears, where maybe he isn't as aggressive, or maybe he does overthink it and passes the ball when we want to see him be aggressive and take it to the rim. I'm absolutely concerned that Patrick Williams can have that type of postseason. And so I'm a little bit concerned there. Next up, Pat Bev. Listen, as much as energy, communication, defense, the dog mentality, the leadership that we've needed that Patrick Beverley has brought to this team, I am definitely concerned that, going into postseason play and, him saying every team I've ever been on has made the playoffs. I'm just concerned that he's not going to have that type of impact. We've seen, especially in the last few games, teams are leaving him open for three and he's not making them. So, I'm a little bit worried about that as well, that he doesn't have that type of season. And then I'll say this, the next player up that I'm going to mention is mainly just because of who we're slated to match up against right now. This could change. Is DeMar DeRozan. I think the length of the Toronto Raptors, who we face right now, if the play-in tournament's going to go down, I'm worried about DeMar DeRozan not necessarily having the impact in the postseason that we've come accustomed to him having. And so, those are players that I'm a little bit on watch for to see if they don't necessarily have the postseason that we expect or want to see from them. But overall, like I said, it's all fool's gold anyway. So, we'll see what it is. Now, tonight, we're back on the game. We're traveling to Milwaukee tonight to face the Milwaukee Bucks. And you guys know I like to give keys of the game. Listen, I'll tell you what. I know Billy Donovan isn't going to do it. I know he's not going to start Patrick Williams. I know he's not going to go with length. I know that. But Alex Caruso, if he's going to be out there in that starting lineup, has to give us an amazing defensive effort. We have to see some defense from Alex Caruso in this game against the Milwaukee Bucks that just makes us just be like, hey, how tall is he again? Because I'm really concerned with the length and the size that the Milwaukee Bucks have in that front court, that Alex Caruso is going to get completely just disappear on the defensive side of the ball. And he's not hitting anything to save his life. So I don't know if he's going to hit any shots. So I'm really concerned about that. I'm hoping that Billy Donovan makes the necessary adjustment, especially after a game that Patrick Williams played pretty darn good at, and that you let him start that game, and let him just deal with what he needs to deal with, right? To see if he can give that defensive effort against one of the best teams in the NBA. But, I'm not saying that that's going to be likely because we know Billy Donovan, he's found his new precious lineup and he's going to keep that going. So overall, though, the Bulls, again, same keys as always. defense and rebounding. You need to rebound the ball better as a team. You have to fight for rebounds. You have to fight for those extra 50-50 balls, those extra possessions. The Bulls are going to have to get that, and they're going to have to try to get out in transition against the Milwaukee Bucks, because with their traditional size, if you allow that team to set up defensively, I see it being harder for DeMar DeRozan to go to work in mid-range. I can see it being harder for Nikola Vucevic in the half court. Now, I do think that if we can't slow it, if we can't play in transition, Vuce is going to be important in the half court offense, and we'll see if he can get going. But that's another thing that we have to look out for as well. Zach LaVine, I need him to have a big game. I need Kobe White to keep having big impacts off the bench for the Chicago Bulls and to kind of rebound from this game as well. And I think also Ayo Dosunmu, if he can have a good game and we can get into transition, his play could be important in a game like this as well. The Bulls are going to have to be efficient on offense, try to shoot the ball at a better rate, and get better shots. Pass up maybe good shots for great shots, pass the ball, move it around, keep those turnovers down to a minimum, because this is going to be a test. And I'll tell you what, this is the way that the season has gone. This is the type of game that the Bulls will come in after dropping a game to the Trae Young-less Atlanta Hawks and win this game against the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not like we haven't beat them before. So we'll see, man. It's going to be an exciting game. We'll be locked in and tuned in here for our pregame, our halftime hangout, and post-game live streams all going down on the channel today. But that's it for me for right now. Make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for our mailbag episodes, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.